earlier today, I had a chat to Sharlto Copley about the success of this phenomenal movie, the sci-fi movie, South African sci-fi movie called District 9. Sharlto, many congratulations on District 9. It's you've obviously delighted with the box office receipts that you're getting overseas. When you first got involved in this project with Neil, did you anticipate it's going to have this kind of early success rate?
No, definitely not. I mean, it was a strange thing because I'd always had the belief that Neil would do extremely well. I've always sort of thought of him as like the next James Cameron as a director or something like along those lines. So the fact that he would make a successful film is not surprising to me. But what was surprising was that it would be this first one that is so South African, so kind of him in terms of influences in his life, etc., and his own very unique style of filmmaking. And that even more shocking was that I'm in it because I don't normally act. So it's just been one amazing surprise after the next, to be honest.
I'm glad you've raised that issue of that you're not normally the actor. When I look at your own background, from the age of 12, you're directing and acting. Okay, so that's as a 12-year-old. But you go on to be involved in managing projects. You've had involvement with ETV, but it seems that you're on the other side of the camera. What got you to be the front man, Sharlto?
It was sort of a happy accident, I suppose, in a way. Neil knew me as a friend, and I had helped him with shoots before as a producer, and for things that short films that he wanted to do here in South Africa. So I was just doing another one of those when he said to me, "Listen, and one of the ideas I'm messing around with for the script is this Afrikaans bureaucratic guy. Kind of imagine old South African government bureaucrat who has to go and deal with these creatures once in a while.
Yes.
And why don't you just do it?" Because he knew that I always used to do accents and play around in my work life. I just couldn't help doing that. I used to pull pranks on my friends and that sort of thing. So it was only when he actually saw, I think the whole intention was always that some other actor was going to come on board, but when he actually saw the results of the test shoot that we did, where I improvised this Vickers van der Merwe character completely and just sort of let him come to life on camera, that him and then first Neil, obviously, and then he had to sort of get it through the system, and luckily it's really the buck stopped with Peter Jackson. So when Peter said, yeah, this is the guy, then amazingly my whole world changed.
Doesn't it just? I'm just so delighted that there's a hero in a movie that is doing so well internationally called Vickers van der Merwe. Have you...
It is, isn't it? It's kind of, I'm glad you say that, because that was something for me as well too. And also to be playing like an Afrikaans character that isn't the bad guy again.
Lovely. Yeah. Do you base it on somebody? Did you have a person in mind when you played Vickers van der Merwe?
I didn't, actually. It was more sort of, I suppose, subconscious influences. I found a voice for the character, and then every sort of character that kind of comes to me, it starts with the voice, and the voice almost links into a basic stereotype. So he's a person I think that a lot of people could relate to. A lot of South Africans have been saying, yeah, I dealt with people like that, certainly at the beginning of the movie. But he also goes through this unbelievable kind of character arc, which was a very exciting thing to play and experience.
Now, for people who don't know the movie, I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time everybody's going to know it. It's all about aliens making contact on Earth. They become refugees. They get shoved into District 9, and they've got this weaponry, and the activation requires alien DNA, which Vickers van der Merwe suddenly gets because he contracts an alien virus. Have I summarized it succinctly enough?
You have, and I think they've been here for 28 years, and the kind of unique premise of it is obviously the fact that it's the spaceship is not sitting over Washington or LA or New York. It's over Johannesburg, and it's just a really different take on the sci-fi genre, and also that the creatures are not here to either enlighten us or destroy us. They just seem to be some kind of come from a structure where they are the workers in their society, and without their leadership structure, which has been lost for whatever reason, they're rather aimless. Yes. So they have these weapons and things, but they don't kind of work together to suppress humans. If you sort of yell at them and hit them, they'll kind of listen to you, even though they could tear you in half. So it's a very different take on the genre.
Well, obviously, the political undertones or even overtones won't be lost on any South Africans, will they, Sharlto?
No, definitely not.
And are you a political beast? Not
Not at all. I'm a person and I'm sort of learning from an actor point of view why I was always interested in characters. I'm fascinated by human beings and different individuals, different people, and the stepping into the shoes of various characters. And I think that's what my character goes through in this film, is the experience of having one perspective, but then stepping into the shoes of another, where I think a lot of politics has got to do with, I've got the answer.
Yes. But it is interesting that the movie that, well, it's now being heralded as the one that's really going to put South African movie making on the map. You always imagine that it would have to have some kind of political undertone. There's a comment in the Times newspaper today is that it's doing so well because South Africa is the poster boy for discrimination, and this movie ultimately is about discrimination. Would you agree with that kind of thing, that's why it's doing well?
Well, I wouldn't say that that's why it's doing well, no. I would say that Neil, as a revolutionary director and one of the handful of guys that comes along every couple of years, is more the reason. But certainly the metaphors are there. It was never intended, Neil never intended any kind of political messaging. There's no major message in the film or moral of the story. It doesn't have the typical Hollywood ending. It's honest. I think it's obviously in a surreal, in a fantasy way, but I try to play certainly my character with a real degree of honesty, and I think there's a lot of reasons why people could be responding to the film. It's very fresh. It's very different. People in North America have been yearning for something different. This summer they've just been bombarded with franchise pictures that have although they've done well at the box office, if you see the reviews, people have felt very, very disappointed overall. So I think we've given them something fresh. Okay.
Well, it's wonderful to see how well it's going. I really hope this is the movie that is the breakout movie. Sharlto, do you guys think about it in those terms, that this is going to make it?
Definitely not. It was just an amazing experience and an amazing thing to be involved with something that I could feel as close to and so much a part of my upbringing and real South African stuff, and it's all South African accents and South African influences. And as you say, South Africa is seen as kind of the poster country for discrimination. But by the same token, we've done things in South Africa that are revolutionary in terms of dealing with that. And we've got 11 official languages in a democratic system. So we have both a negative, but we absolutely have the positive, and that's the part that I'm very proud of. And as a South African, and even with my character in the film, the redemptive quality of this guy is really important to me.
Absolutely fair comment there, Sharlto. On a much lighter note, when I look at the photographs of the aliens, because as I say, I've yet to see the movie, I'm so excited about going to go and see it. They Parktown prawns, man. Those are Parktown prawns, aren't they?
Neil was answering that today, actually, and saying that absolutely New Zealand has a almost identical creature that they call a weta, which Peter Jackson's effects company is named after, and so he was saying it's absolutely a nod to the weta and the Parktown prawn.
I'm glad the Parktown prawn lives on in Hollywood now. Sharlto, all of the best, and thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you very, very much. It's a real privilege to be talking to you, and I'm just so grateful to be back in South Africa and share the movie with everyone here.
Sharlto Copley, the lead actor in District 9, this new hot movie that premieres tonight at The Zone at Rosebank, #1 in the USA box office this weekend. Without question, the most high-profile local film to be released to date, opening in South Africa next week.
Talk Radio 702. Welcome to the world of exclusive podcasts.